I've been trying to decide what to say during this video. I was given this topic by my guides, and I've been trying to come up with what I wanted to say about this topic. And I just realized that the reason why I'm having such a hard time talking about this topic is because I really hate it when people ask me if I am doing this. Or they say, you need to. The topic is risk, taking risks. And I don't know why I hate it. I don't know, but I do. You know, when people say to me, you should be taking risks, I think of things like skydiving, which I'm never going to do. I'm never going to do it. I think of all these like grandiose things, you know, just big things. And they're like, I don't know, I always think of things I think that are bigger than what I want to do in life. And maybe scare me a little bit. But I am actually a bit of a risk taker. And I mean, when you start a business, you are taking risk. When you start two businesses, you're taking risk. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like a risk, only because of the way I do them, maybe, or learning something new is a risk. And I don't have a problem learning something new. In fact, if anything, I have a tendency to pick a topic, like something will spark my interest. And I will immerse myself in that particular topic. Like, I will do it, I will read about it, I will watch videos about it, I stay very focused on that topic for a very long time. I mean, however long it takes me to really fully digest the whole thing. And in doing that, I take risks. I had videos that I would consider pretty risky because nobody really wanted to hear them. Nobody really wanted, society didn't really want to hear them. It was all about food and toxins and I mean, it's all just like blah. But I did take risks. I took the risk to put myself out there and to talk about it and to try and get people's awareness to the risks or the potential problems with food and how you could, change it. So I am a risk taker. I take risks all the time. I just don't like it when people say, you should take a risk. You need to take a risk. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. And I'm here to tell you today that if you're not taking risks, you need to take risks. You need to stretch yourself, especially if you're bored with life, the same thing day in, day out, and you're feeling bored. Find a risk to take because it will enliven you. It will motivate you. It will drive you. I would say that most of the quote unquote risky things that I've done in life were some of my biggest motivators. Starting a business. I was obsessed with starting my business. That was a risk. And there was a lot of risk involved. And there were a lot of people who thought my risk taking was not good, not positive. They all have to like tell you about all the things that could possibly go wrong while you're taking this risk. And you just don't listen. You just don't listen, and you just keep taking the risk, because stopping won't get you anywhere. You will not be able to move mountains. You won't be able to accomplish your goals unless you're willing to take the risk and to put everybody aside who doesn't support you in moving those. And I'll tell you, there's very, very few people in this world who will support you. Just so you know. So don't be surprised if you decide to take a risk and you think that your family unit, your friends, all those people that love you so much and cherish you and they're always got your back, start a business. And you will find out really quick how few people actually support you. I'm not entirely sure why that is. They want you to stay as you are. They don't want you to grow. They don't want you to become more. They don't want you to learn. They don't want you to maybe they're projecting their own stuff onto you. Maybe they're afraid to take a risk. Maybe they're afraid that they will be a laughing stock or that they'll be a failure. Who cares? Who cares? If you fail, you fail. You get up and you do it again. But if you don't take the risk, you'll never know what you're capable of. So if you are somebody who wants to start a YouTube channel, but you don't think that you can, or you're afraid to take the risk, take the risk. But plan on 500 videos or 1,000 videos before anybody even knows that you exist, okay? Just keep going. Just keep going. Maybe you want to start a business. Start a business. Take the risk, because working for somebody else is never going to get you out of poverty. I'm sorry to tell you that. There are some positions, some some people do manage, like attorneys who work for large corporations, doctors who work for hospitals, those types of things. But the average person is never going to make a good amount of money and be successful if they continue working for somebody else, especially if they're, in the average range of pay. It's just not going to happen. So you may as well take a risk and start a business while you're working for somebody else, because that will open up huge doors for you. You will be able to, you're going to put in hours, you're going to have pain, you're going to have to focus. But working for somebody else while building your business gives you a little bit of security. You don't have to go out, full force, just quit your job and go start a business, which is not a good idea. Start your business part-time. Take something that you love to do and work on it, and work on it, and work on it, and don't stop. That in itself is a risk, but at least you're putting yourself out there. At least you're taking that risk. Some risks are larger than other risks, and I would say you want to always weigh your risks and decide if the cost of failing is too high. Maybe scale it back a little bit so it's a little bit more comfortable for you. You don't feel like you're taking too big of a risk. And then as you build, as you go along, you can take more and more risk. Your confidence builds, you have faith in yourself, and you can make your risks bigger and more bold. Maybe, I mean, there's 1,000 things you can do. Maybe you play guitar in your room at night and you want to take a risk in putting yourself out there. Start a YouTube channel and start playing. You never know what could happen if you just took that risk. You never know. And great things could happen. Great things could happen for you. Where if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to continue to live your life exactly the way you have been. Nothing is going to happen. So take the risk. Maybe you like to bake. Maybe it's something really simple as baking. Maybe you like to make cakes. I've loved the idea of cake decorating for many years. I've always had too many projects going on, but it would be really cool to decorate cakes and take it to a cake shop, and just show it to them. Take the risk of them saying, oh, that's kind of okay. But at least if you do that, then you know what the next step is. You get better, maybe you start your own cake YouTube channel or you do an Instagram and you publish your stuff. The more time you put into it, the more enjoyment you get out of it, the better it is. And before you know it, you're looking back and you're thinking, here I am, not a risk taker in any way, shape, or form, but I have actually taken a risk and it paid off. During bad times, bad economic times, that is when you have the time, generally, to take risks. Start a business now. Take the risk to create something and put it out into the world. And you might be very surprised at how fabulous it turns out. Happy risk taking.